Hey, I'm McKenna.
And I'm Cass. And this is Call You in 5.
Well, hello you guys and welcome back to another episode. Today's kind of fun because we're going to talk about birthday traditions, which is exciting because it's somebody's birthday this week. Cassie, what are you doing this weekend?
You wait so many years for your birthday to be on a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, you wait. And my birthday is finally on a Saturday this year, and I'm working.
But you're going to do something fun there,
yeah,
right?
I have a trip so I'm going to California this weekend. But for this conference that I speak at last year, I brought my friend who does content creation in videography work. And so he and his fiance, so girlfriend last year, came with me because she's one of my really good friends. And so they're coming with me again, and they're staying a couple extra days.
Fun.
I'm not a big Disney. I like Disneyland, but I'm not a Disney adult, you know? So I'm I don't really need to go to Disneyland on my birthday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also have a speaking engagement that Monday. So I'm speaking Friday, Saturday morning. We're going to go to the beach, do some fun stuff in California. Saturday evening, and then go Disney on Sunday, and then work again Monday. So, not a bad birthday weekend.
No, what's your favorite ride at Disneyland? Even though you're not a Disney adult. You gotta have one.
Yeah, Thunder Mountain
Railroad. Oh, Thunder Mountain's a good one.
So when I was little, my super actually unfortunate story, but my childhood best friend was diagnosed with leukemia, and she survived. She's alive. She won the cancer battle, but she didn't have any siblings, and so she invited me to go on her Make-A-Wish trip with her to Disneyland, which was really special.
Yeah.
And I remember because of her Make-A-Wish program and trip experience, she would get to go to the front of the lines. And so I think we probably rode Thunder Mountain Railroad 10 or 15 times in the 3 or 4 day trip we were there.
That is amazing.
It was awesome.
Wait, that is so amazing.
I love that ride. What's yours?
I love Indiana Jones.
That's a classic.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it's because when I was little, I used to be terrified of that ride. I remember I got off that ride the first time I rode on it, and I was crying, but I was really little.
Yeah.
You know, I was just barely tall enough to ride it.
Yeah.
And I remember the snake, when you come around the corner, the snake, I was on that side.
Yeah.
Terrified me.
It's
and now that I'm older, I ride it, and I'm this is so much fun.
It's
You're just tossed around.
Yeah. The smell, Pirates of the Caribbean, is that way for me too, with the water. Yeah. There's a couple.
I always wanted to eat at Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. I got to do that on that trip too.
You did?
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh my gosh, was the food good? I've heard it's kind of just whatever.
I don't remember. I was 12. I do remember a lot of things from the trip though, and it was really special. But anyways, so that's what I'm doing this weekend. Fun. But yeah, birthdays are always funny. Yeah. And your birthday's in May, my birthday's in March, and I feel even the way we celebrate or talk about our birthdays is so different. And obviously, comes up on the podcast often, being in different seasons of life that, makes birthdays look different. Yeah. And so it should be fun for us to just, share different perspectives walking into birthdays, different pressures we put on ourselves during birthdays, and then how to really, honor yourself and, what you need from that day. When I feel there's so many, expectations or things that we have made up in our mind of what we want this day to look like or feel like. Yeah.
Well, and I feel I'm not a huge celebrator.
Totally.
And it probably comes from in the past I've just kind of been let down. I've had high expectations.
Yeah.
Been let down in the past of not having that great of birthdays.
Yeah.
This was long before I met Joey. This
of course,
was
every birthday's been blissful with Joey.
But so I feel I just don't set expectations, and then on my birthday I'm always
disappointment.
Oh, now.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I mean?
Sorry, you can say that again. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, it's okay. I just don't set expectations anymore.
Yeah.
And then I'm just excited.
Yeah.
For whatever Joey has planned. Usually it's something small. It's dinner, and then he usually gets me. He always outdoes me on gifts, but you're a celebrator, so let's hear what you do and what you're
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is, I love celebrating other people's birthdays. Everyone I've ever lived with, if it was a significant other or a roommate, I love to have them wake up with the apartment filled with balloons and signs and their favorite sweet treat or whatever. I just like to make people feel really special. And I think sometimes that gets, like, misunderstood is, like, that's my expectation of, like, something I would want. And it's like, no, I just, like to do that for people, you know? So I think a big place, and I've been single for, like, most of my, like, birthdays in my life. For sure in my life, especially in my adult life.
Like maybe
you know?
20s.
Yeah, and, like, obviously you're single when you're a kid. So I just mean, like, in my, like, more adult life, I've been, like, single for most of my birthdays. And so I think it puts pressure because it's, like, you know, your friends will be disappointed if you didn't tell them it's your birthday and you're, like, all, like, coy about it. And they're like, wait, I do want to celebrate you. Like, I do want you to feel, like, special. But they also, like, aren't in a role like a significant other where they feel the autonomy to, like, plan something, you know? And sometimes you have to, let me clarify, or people in my position, like, we just need to get comfortable initiating and asking for, like, what we want. If it's, like, and so, but what's hard, too, is that question can be a lot. When your friends come to you and they're like, oh, hey, your birthday's coming up, like, what do you want to do? And you're like, I don't know. You know, like, that's a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
Like, when people used to ask you that when you were single, what would you say?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I never really did huge celebrations.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been single most of my 20s.
That's
you know what
true.
I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I would go out with friends when I was single. You know,
the couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I never really, like, would say anything. Like, if people asked what I wanted to do for my birthday, I did have a couple roommates, and, like, we would go get crumble or something, like, kind of low key and go on a hike or go, because we lived right by the mountains in Utah. Yeah. So we'd, like, drive up in the mountains or whatever and go eat the cookies or whatever.
Totally.
Something simple, but that meant, like, a ton to me. And I thought that was fun, but super low key.
And I think, like, it's just different when you are single versus, like, being in a relationship or married. Because I think when you're in a relationship, it's like you have a built-in, I'm imagining, I mean, from the couple years I've been in a relationship during my birthday, you, like, have a built-in person who, like, kind of takes initiative and is like, well, this is what we're doing for your birthday, and then everything is, like, extra. Like, the things you do one-off with friends or family, it's, like, in addition. It's not, like, the thing that, like, fills your birthday bucket or however you look at that. I don't know. Does that make sense?
They know you really well.
Right.
So they kind of already know what you want.
And they don't have to ask you
any
questions.
Right. They should.
They can be, like, a little bit more assertive. Yeah. Like, oh, I know her. I, like, love her, and I love that she loves these things. So we can, like, do them together or whatever. And if you have kids, like, including...
I was going to say, I feel like birthdays have kind of changed for me just having a daughter. Like, last year's Leela's birthday was so much fun. Like, throwing her down in a celebration.
It was so much fun.
I know, with the bouncy house and stuff like that. Like, I was super fortunate to have a company that wanted to help with that and kind of, like, gift it to me in a sense with, like, collaboration. But I'm like, I want to do that again. Like, I want to make that happen for her second birthday, which is kind of coming up too. I don't care about mine. Leela's always going to take the cake on my birthday now because her birthday's the day before mine.
Right.
So it's just going to be, like, about her, you know?
Totally. Well, yeah, because, like, especially for kids, as you move into that season, it's like, well, kids' birthdays have to be celebrated on the weekend, so their friends can come.
That's true.
You know, it's not like you just do something, like, as a family, you can do something after school at night, but it's like the weekend that maybe you would have normally celebrated your birthday when you were just married before kids or single, like, or dating, now that's a weekend for your daughter. So it's like, well,
for sure.
There it goes.
Do you remember many of your birthday parties growing up?
Yeah, my mom was awesome with this. Like, I loved The Wizard of Oz when I was little.
Oh, cute.
And so there was one year that I had, like, a Wizard of Oz theme. Like, all my birthday parties were themed when I was little. And so my mom, like, painted this, like, yellow brick road.
Cute.
And I was Dorothy. And I don't remember this birthday, but there's photos of, you know, like, whatever, 1998 is the year I turned 2. And there's photos of my I've seen recently of my second birthday, and I loved Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, cute.
And so it was like a Pooh Bear cake.
That's so cute.
My brother was only probably, like 3 weeks old when I turned 2. And so, like, he's there, and, like, the photos are just, like, so, and, you know, like, the 90s, like, even what, like, adults wore, like, in the late 90s is just, like, iconic. So I love some of those photos, too, of, like, oh my god, this was so sweet. I don't know, what are you? What are some that you remember from when you were little?
I just remember we had, like, my friends come over and my birthday's in spring, so it wasn't, like, hot enough in Oregon to, like, do any, like, water games or anything like that, but I remember we would just, like, have games outside. And it was never, like, themed or anything like that. I just think my mom was kind of like me, like, not super, honestly, organized enough to get a party together, which I want to be like that now, so I'm trying to, like,
channel it out.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny. My family, my dad's birthday was like mid-December, obviously Christmas. My mom's was mid-January, my brother's is mid-February, and mine's the first weekend or first couple days of March. And so my mom would hang a happy birthday banner like above these windows by our like kitchen table from December to March. It was awesome. Like, it was just birthday season in the little household for like 4 months. You know, cute. Dad, Jesus, Mom, brother, Cass. It was awesome. And so it was like, those are some of the memories that I love of like doing stuff with family. Like, they'd always like make the meal that you loved the most. And there was, I don't know if you ever got anything from their Beaverton Bakery.
Haven't.
It's not open anymore, but it's like the Q's Bakery in like Beaverton.
Yeah.
And there was this like lemon poppy seed cake. So good.
Yeah, that is so fun.
But I love the childhood memories because I think what's funny is like what you are doing for your kids, like what our parents did for us, is like they were our go-to person for that, right? They like facilitated this day that make you feel like super valuable and super special.
Yeah.
And so when you're in like a season of like in between of like, especially like we talked about on the podcast before, like in seasons of singleness where you're like celebrating hard the other people in your life. Like I have 3, 4, almost 5 really good friends who are like planning their weddings right now. Like 4-ish, 3 or 4 friends who just had babies or are gonna have babies soon. Like, it's just a busy season celebrating like couples and families. And so like birthdays are like your time to like do something for you. And so I think we should talk about like why there feels like there's so much pressure on your birthday and like how to work around it. Do you not feel that? Like, do you not feel pressure on your birthday?
I actually really do. Well, I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like a whole lot of pressure, but I do love like all the birthday perks. Like I love going to Dutch Bros and getting my free drink or Starbucks or whatever. And, I think Red Robin gives like a birthday out for the whole month or like a burger for your birthday the whole month. Like I love doing that, and usually Joey and I will take advantage of that. But no, I don't feel like a whole lot of pressure. But I might have when I was single, you know?
It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I would go get my nails done. I would do the things I wanted to do and treat myself. And, like you said, take the initiative to make it happen.
And I think maybe there's pressure, or I feel pressure sometimes, because it's hard to know what to do, right? When there's not someone that's like, hey, I thought of this, let's do it, that just, like, takes initiative. It can feel hard, I think, especially as women, to either advocate for yourself or, like, ask for what you need. And you know, it's so funny because I think also as women, we're all like in need of like belonging. And we also are all in need of like a certain level of attention.
You just want to feel special.
And seen and like known from the people that you do life with closely. And I think that's where the pressure comes in for me, is it's like, well, this is the day, right? This is the day to do something. Also being the most sentimental person on the planet. I just like care about that a lot. And so last year, I like didn't have any plans. I think so. With the leap year this year, my birthday would have been on a Thursday last year, and I just remember like whatever the week before. February is like for the last couple of years nuts for me, just with this kind of work that I do, and so it's hard to actually like, get in the headspace of like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like planning far enough in advance, because it always like sneaks up on me, but. Last year, like a week before, I like didn't have any plans. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take the day off. It's a Thursday, and I'm just gonna like do the things that like make me feel good. And so I like woke up without my phone, and I like spent some time like journaling and praying, and went to bar 3 and took a class, and got ready for the day, and like went to my favorite brunch spot, and like got breakfast, and walked around Wash Park, and just like sat out in the sun. I was really lucky in early March last year that it was a sunny day, and I was living with a couple, and they made me dinner that night, and
cute.
Like a couple friends like sent me flowers, but I spent most of the day alone. And I think we can be like kind of afraid to spend time alone. Yeah. Especially when we feel this pressure.
Honestly, that day, you describing that day, I'm like, that sounds amazing. And I don't know if that comes from being like a mom, like just having a whole day to yourself. I'm like, whoa, I would love that.
It was awesome. And I like being so like content in each moment. It's like I felt available like when people I loved called to like answer the phone or like I think my phone died that day just because I was like like on like texting people back or whatever. And I think birthdays are a sweet time to feel connected to others, but like also an important day to feel connected to yourself. And being the sentimental person I am, like I do this at the start and end of every year, like a little bit in December and a little bit in January, but I also do it like the week leading up to and the day of my birthday, just to be like, okay, what actually happened when I was 27? Like that's what I'm doing this week. It's like, man, you really got things together. You're like, we're like on a road to stability, you know, like things are like evening out. I think your like early 20s can be like so turbulent. You're just like trying to like get everything organized.
Yeah, which is I think relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah, and then it's also like, what didn't I accomplish, or what am I really excited about? Like continuing to like invest in, if it's in myself, like personal goals or professional goals, relationship goals, and like just how you're like feeling like fulfilled and present in the life that you have. Yeah.
I'm curious that I don't even know why this thought came up, but like, you know how people set their New Year's goals? Do you ever do it on your birthday instead?
I don't do it on my birthday. I do. We talked about this a few months ago. I do a word of the year. Yeah. And so I feel like, maybe so. Maybe more of my goals
or like work goals. I feel like you have work goals and stuff.
Well, it's so funny. So my company's birthday, or my anniversary, I call it a birthday. My company's anniversary is also in March. So I feel like they kind of coexist of like I remember the year I turned 25 was just a couple weeks before my company turned 1. And so it was like, man, I'm a quarter of a century and I've been a business owner for a year. Like, this is a cool year. And my life is nuts. And I know you remember that. Like, March of 2021, I was not okay. But it was just like, it was a cool time to like reflect on how much had been accomplished. And I feel that more so like what you're talking about with goal setting, associating that with like the year I am like turning versus like the calendar year. Yeah. Because I think like I want my calendar years to be like marked by something, but I think birth years help you track the things and the goals that you have. Like I have a journal that I only write in probably like every 3 months or 6 months or something. And it's just for like big life updates because the first page was like all these goals I like set out when I got out of a really significant relationship, and I just like check in on them, and I like give myself grace for deadlines that I've missed and like reassess those things. But that journal always gets opened this week of every year, you know?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. How about you? Do you set goals when you turn in a new year?
No, but I do like reevaluate. I'm like, okay, I'm this age this year, like, and kind of what I accomplished and stuff like that. I do like to look back and be thankful for the things I accomplished because I think it's really easy to be hard on yourself. But really, like 25 was a really significant year for me too. So I had gotten out of a relationship and then I bought a house at the age of 25, which I didn't know I was even capable of. Like there was just like a lot of things I accomplished that year that I was single, and then I met Joey right after. But I don't know, just kind of, I guess, look back, not necessarily set goals forward. I think I'd like to set more goals. But I don't necessarily do that because then I get bummed if I like miss things. Yeah. But
I think it's part of the grace thing too. It's like I think audacious goals are like bittersweet because they often like get us really motivated and like give us a lot of clarity of like the things we want to do, but sometimes that is more important than the deadline. The deadline like gives us some like get up and go, but the purpose is not the deadline. The purpose is the thing that you want to achieve, and just like taking little faithful steps toward that thing.
Right.
Yeah. Man. So what do you think? Okay, so you want to set more goals. What's your favorite part of your birthday? Like something that you do look forward to every year?
I think just having a day that is whatever I want. You know, I know that like last year Joey was just so involved, I guess. I mean, he's always an involved parent, but like he really made me feel special. He like made sure if I wanted to sleep in, I could. I never sleep in. I was like out of bed beforehand, but he's like, I'll wake up with Leela, like I'll put her to bed. You know, I just kind of everything's about me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, having a day about you. That's awesome.
And Joey's very anti like buy drinks, like Starbucks, chai, anywhere. But like on my birthday, he's like goes and gets it. He knows what I like, you know.
Aww.
Even though he's like very anti, he thinks it's a waste of money. But he just I just like feeling special, I think, is the main thing.
Yeah, and it's like so normal. Yeah. Well, cool. I feel like, just to like wrap this up, I feel like the most important thing is like regardless of what season of life you're in, like you were talking about earlier, it's like if you are in a relationship, your person should know like the things that would like get you excited or the things that you want to do. And if you're like, I don't know if they do, just know that it's okay, whatever season of life that you're in, if you're dating someone and it's like kind of new, or you've been married for a minute, or you're just single, to like ask the people in your corner to be a part of your day or like help you feel celebrated. Like ask for what you want.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask for what you want. Or say like, hey, my birthday's coming up, would love to like do something with you. Would you mind like helping me like have a dinner, or like help me have people over, or would you mind hosting something? You know, like I think it's okay to ask for what you want.
Yeah. I think people appreciate that too, because they can't read your mind.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it is a kindness thing too, because people in your life want to celebrate you. Like you are worthy of being celebrated, and oftentimes when that goes without, like when that doesn't happen, it's not for lack of interest, it's for lack of information or lack of confidence in like what you actually want or what would make you feel the most celebrated. So don't be afraid to ask for what you want, and also don't be afraid to take what you want. Like if that's a day alone, just like do things you need to do, like take that PTO, like give yourself a moment to like refill your cup, check in on your goals, and be really proud of yourself and what you're accomplishing and where you're going.
Yeah. And you can follow us on all social media platforms at Call You in 5. And we hope to see you guys. We'll call you next week.
Happy birthday at some point to all of you.
Yeah.